Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Bilal Abdul Kareem for OGN Maps. Today, we're going to discuss a brewing situation in southern Syria concerning Israeli forces. Let's get started. But first, let's talk about what's on this map right here. In the brown area, this is Suwayda. It is controlled by Haqiqatjou. He is someone who is loyal to Tel Aviv. He flies the Israeli flag and openly says that he wants to be a part of the greater Israeli project. That's Suwayda. This area right over here, this is Israeli occupied territory in purple. But this line right here is the 1974 line, which was not supposed to be crossed by Israeli forces, but they did it anyway. Yesterday, about 8 different incursions took place, and they went as far as to Beit Jen. Now, why is that important? Why is that significant? Well, if you look at the direction, that's going in this direction, eastwards. Who's in the eastward direction? This one, right over here, Haqiqatjou's forces. Now, they did pull back into these territories right here, also in purple, but it shows that there seems to be a concerted effort to link this territory with that territory. Now, in the middle is Daraa. Daraa has no government troops there. In March of this year, Benjamin Netanyahu made it very clear he did not want to have any government troops in the Daraa area, any armed individuals. So, in theory,
Bilal doesn't seem to make much of that. So you're telling me in March, Netanyahu demanded from the Sharia government, you cannot have any kind of troops or police in Daraa, in that massive area, and he complied. He complied. So who is Sharia working for exactly? Is he working for the Syrians, or is he another lapdog of Benjamin Netanyahu? Can someone clarify how it's possible for Netanyahu to give a command like, no, we don't want any? And he had another command actually a couple of months ago with the whole Suwayda crisis in Quneitra and Suwayda, the uprising. Netanyahu told Sharia, I don't want any military presence south of Damascus. And as soon as the directions were given, Sharia retreated. All the troops went back to evacuate. No military presence. So who is Sharia working for? He's taking orders directly from Netanyahu.
it would be very simple to link these forces with those, or those forces with these, and to take the entire southern part of Syria. Keeping in mind, this is only 30 kilometers from Damascus, 40 kilometers from the Mount Hermon area that we talked about. I hope it's clearer now on the map. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
So this is why I was talking about back in December. Again, I showed you the tweets. I was saying, what is preventing Israel from going straight into Damascus as they please? Just taking over all the way into Damascus, the capital. What's preventing them? And I was absolutely right. I mean, what else can you say? This is what's happening. Israel is occupying. Forget about Golan. Some of these simps were saying back in December, oh yeah, we're going to take back the Golan Heights. Meanwhile, Israel is just taking everything that they want, really solidifying their occupation. They took Mount Hermon itself, the most strategic point that's overlooking Damascus. They took that, controlling, just solidifying, fortifying their control, and then expanding eastward. And now Suwayda, Quneitra, Daraa, all under threat of Israeli occupation and control right outside of Damascus. So if you control what's right outside of Damascus, you control Damascus. You control Damascus. And this is what's causing the diplomatic row with Turkey, because Turkey is being pushed out. Turkey is being pushed out, and the Sharia government apparently is abiding by this.
The Israelis are not going to stop. I mean, brothers and sisters, let's talk business for a second here. Netanyahu's talking about a greater Israeli, greater Israel, and it includes Syria. It's on the map. He ain't trying to hide it. He's putting it out there. You see what I'm saying? And they're taking over territory. They're doing it in Quneitra. They've taken over Suwayda, which is a big land expanse in southern Syria. They declared that they don't want to have any government troops in Daraa, which is on their border. That too has been followed. And also, we may be looking at any time that all of southern Syria, south of the countryside of Damascus, is gone. And that could happen at any day. That's the reality of the situation. Now, they're talking about, we want to be cool with the SDF that's up in the north and all. Ooh, now that's another issue right there. You see, I'm saying that the Israelis/Americans are not going to stop unless you show them something. I'm going to say this again. They're not going to.
So now the Americans and Israelis are together. Before, he was kind of giving the impression that, well, it's not necessarily the case that the Americans are working with the Israelis. But now it's it's just American/Israelis. It's one entity.
Stop unless you show them something. Now, I don't care if you got a rock, you got a stick, an angry dog, or an attack cat. But the reality of the situation is that they will continue to take more territory. Being cool with the Americans is not going to call off the Israelis. Why? Because the Americans and the Israelis are making the same policies in the same rooms. They just play the good cop, bad cop.
I mean, this is a question. Are the rulers of Syria that retarded that they don't know this? That they don't know that when you're working with America, that you're actually working with Israel? Are they that retarded? So either they are that retarded, in which case they're completely incompetent and they're going to drive the country into the dirt. They're going to bury Syria by handing it over to Israel, or they're agents. They're actually working with, that was the plan all along. The plan from the beginning, Ahmed Sharaa was made in a lab He was basically imprisoned because of his terrorist operations that he was involved with in Iraq, and he was retrained by the British. And there's plenty of evidence of this, and it's been admitted by British and U.S. Figures. And he's been trained in a lab to be, the next generation of Sunni religious Arab leader that's going to be working for the interests of Israel. That's really what Ahmed Shara is. He was made in a lab, and this is his purpose. And all the people who were simping for him, still simping for him. Oh, I prayed with Ahmed Shara in Idlib. I prayed in the same mosque as him, and he was there for Fajr. And oh, he's our blessed revolutionary. He's the next Khalifa. He's going to bring Islam and Sharia to Syria. Finally, we have our Sunni leaders. Like the retards who were saying things like this and still say things like this. Like they were either bots, like agent bots, or they're that stupid. Like they were that stupid to believe it. Because look at what's happening. Like it's inexcusable. Even the people who were positive on Jolani, look at what they're saying now. Like they can't even believe their eyes, and they have to explain things like, "But isn't it the case? Doesn't Shara know that America is working with Israel? And just because America is giving you guarantees that we're going to make sure that Netanyahu doesn't do anything untoward, we're going to make sure that Israel plays nice." Just because you're getting those guarantees from Washington, D.C., you know that's worth nothing, right? You know that even if Washington, D.C. wanted to restrain Israel, it wouldn't even matter. Israel is still going to do whatever the hell it wants. Like, don't you understand that? Like, don't you know that? And that's why someone like Bilal, who does have this husn al-dhan for Shara and the government and the revolution as a whole, he has to explain something that should be so obvious and something so like the ABCs of geopolitics and foreign relations. He has to explain the ABCs. You know that America is working hand in hand with Israel. Like, is this new information that I'm sharing with you? Because the only way that you can do the actions that you're doing, the only way that you can have the deals that you're making with Washington D.C. is if you didn't actually know that. That's the only explanation, is that you don't actually know that. That's why you're making these blunders. That's why you're handing over the country and the Syrian people to Israel on the silver platter. It must be because you're ignorant. It must be because you just don't know like the ABCs. I think they know the ABCs. I think that they just don't care. I think that they're just another, like, when have we seen? Tell me, like, in terms of a pattern of history, like, when have we seen an Arab ruler who cared more about Islam and the Muslims and the lives of the people of his country more than a big fat paycheck from the United States? When have we ever seen that, actually? Especially in the past 75 years. When have we actually seen that? I mean, maybe if you go back to Abdel Nasser, maybe Sadat, maybe to some degree, even though he normalized with Israel. But who? Like, where are the Arab leaders? Like, is this something that is common? No, the default is backstabbing the Ummah, betraying the Muslims, making deals with the biggest enemies of Islam, normalizing with the occupiers. That's been the historical pattern. So you're telling me that Jolani was going to come and he's going to break the pattern? He's going to break based on what? Okay, it's possible. It's possible. Even I admitted that. It's possible. Let's just wait and see. But there's all these red flags. At what point are we going to wake up? At what point are we going to say, like, yeah, we fell for it again and we're not going to fall for it anymore?